entrevista que vamos a tener el día de hoy, esta plática con Do Tulku Rinpoche. Do Tulku Rinpoche es un gran maestro que él nació en la India, su familia es de Tibet, nació en 1985 y bueno, fue reconocido como la encarnación de un maestro importante. Ahí está, ya lo agrego. Y a partir de ahí, pues recibió como mucho entrenamiento, muchísima educación. Aquí está. Hello, Rinpoche.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
Good. Thank you so much for being here with us, sharing.
Thank you. Let's hope I don't depress you. Usually when I talk about changes and stuff, I tend to depress people.
Okay, I will have to be translating. This is what makes me most nervous, being a translator.
You have to stop me when I go to the dark side.
So, Rinpoche dice que espera no deprimirnos, porque a veces cuando habla del cambio y de cómo funciona el cambio, la gente se deprime. But Rinpoche, I think, well, you're a person that has experienced big changes in your life. Can you please tell us a little bit about your life? Because you've been going through big changes, some of the biggest changes I know. Okay, let me translate. Le estoy preguntando a Rinpoche que nos cuente un poco de su vida, de los cambios que él ha tenido, porque él es una de las personas que yo conozco que ha tenido cambios más grandes en esta vida. Entonces quiero que nos platique un poquito, a ver qué nos quiere contar de su vida y de sus cambios.
Well, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. I'm probably maybe the most boring, normal person I know. Nothing exciting ever happened to me. And what do you call it? I'm a country pumpkin, you know.
Dice que él es una de las personas más normales que conozco, que nunca le ha pasado nada interesante. Okay, so let's try to break this up. Where were you born?
I'm born in South India. I am a Tibetan and born in exile. Yeah.
Nació en la India, es un tibetano, nacido en exilio en el sur de la India. So then you were born in India with your exiled Tibetan family, and how was your life there? How was your daily life?
Quite normal. Quite normal.
You would go to school, be with your family?
Okay, yes, just as any other. Well, born as a refugee is not a fun thing, you know, and it has its own challenges. And at the age of 17, I think a very big change came to my life when I became a monk. I don't look like a monk because I'm not a monk now, but
see big changes.
Yeah. But there is a great Tibetan master called His Holiness Sakya Chichen, and he suggested that maybe I should become a monk, and I became a monk. And for the next 11 years, I studied in Dzongser. It's a Buddhist monastic college. You want to translate that?
Yeah, I will try to translate that. So, así que Rinpoche dice que nacer como un exiliado pues tiene muchísimos retos y él tenía una vida muy normal y después el His Holiness Sakya Tenzin sugirió que él se debería de convertir en monje y se convirtió en monje y fue monje y que ahora ya no es monje, por eso no se ve como un monje. Y le voy a preguntar, ¿cuántos años tenías cuando te convertiste en monje? How old were you when you started being a monk? Where did you live before being a monk and where did you move to after?
I was 17 and I left my high school and to join a monastery. And then I traveled from South India to North India, where the monastery is. I think you've been there, right? So,
Yeah, that's where we met.
Yes.
And how was it? Bueno, él se convirtió en monje a los 17 años, dejó a su familia en el sur de la India para irse al norte de la India, a los Himalayas, a un monasterio. ¿Y cómo fue, pues, dejar a tu familia y toda la vida como la conocías a esa edad? How was it to leave your family and life as you know it when you were 17 years old, like a full-on teenager, and moving to a monastery? How was that? That's a very big shift and change.
That really uprooted my whole life. And obviously, nobody thinks, no 17-year-old boy thinks that he will become a monk the next day. And that's what basically happened with me. And it was quite difficult to cope with it for the first 2-3 months. Like every morning I wake up and then for the next 5 minutes I have to remember where I am. And, and there are guys everywhere. We were 350 monks all living together in a small space. So it was interesting, yeah.
Entonces, imagínense, él tenía 17 años, de un día al otro su vida cambió por completo y de repente era un monje en los Himalayas, sin su familia. Dice que los primeros 2-3 meses fueron muy difíciles, que se despertaba y no sabía ni siquiera dónde estaba. Y le voy a preguntar, ¿qué fue lo que le hizo poder empezar a llevar este cambio? What tools, how did you manage to start coping with this big shift when you were also like so young and suddenly your life is like from one day to another completely different?
In those days, it was very difficult because, of course, I'm a teenager and I had I've never studied any, spiritual teachings or anything. And I just dealt with it as any normal man does, by not talking about it. And, just pushing it through. But because I don't want it to sound like becoming a monk was a bad thing. It was also the most amazing thing that could happen to me, and yeah.
Entonces nos dice que pues cuando él se convirtió en monje no tenía ninguna práctica espiritual y entonces la forma en que pudo lidiar con el cambio dice que es como cualquier hombre lo haría, que fue no hablar de eso y empujar y atravesar eso, y que aunque a lo mejor podría sonar como que ser monje fue algo malo, es de lo mejor que le ha pasado en su vida. And then you started a spiritual path there.
I would like to think so, yes.
And then, could you, for how many years you've been on a spiritual path, like studying and practicing and like that?
Oh, by the way, I have to ask you, do you want me to give short answers or do you want me to give broader answers? I'm not sure. We didn't discuss this.
Whatever you want. I mean, right now we are starting like a chat, but when we start more going deeper, you can give bigger answers as you wish.
Okay. What was the question again?
Like, so then you were like, your life changed completely suddenly, and then you started a spiritual path in the monastery, like when you were 17 years old.
Yes.
And then, and you started, your only tool was being a guy and not speaking about it.
Yes.
I love that part. Everybody loved it. And then what happened? How did your spiritual path has been teaching you about change and how to cope with it? Because it's been a long time since you became a monk. It's been almost, what, 20 years from that day?
Not 20. I became monk when I was 17. So I am 34 right now. So I'm really not good with maths.
So it's like 17.
Yeah. But of course, now, even now, you know, it's a painful thing. Coping with change is something I believe we, you know, have to keep learning, keep, you know, sort of evolving. It's. I don't think it's something you just manage to, unless you're a really accomplished master, you know. So then. And you tell me if it's becoming too Buddhist, okay, or anything. So unless you're an accomplished master, you really have to, you know, that methods and sort of philosophies, experiences that help you now may not help you tomorrow. You know, so tomorrow you need a complete different outlook, and you know, so you have to keep changing. But I must say, the fundamental teachings of Buddha, this sort of always stood the test of time, you know, that I can always rely on it.
On what you can rely always?
I mean, as fundamental teachings of Buddha, like simple teachings like impermanence, right? Cause and effect. Hey, you don't have to translate.
Yeah, they are complaining there. So, entonces, le estoy preguntando a Rinpoche que, pues, ¿qué ha aprendido el del cambio y cómo manejar el cambio, cómo atravesarlo? Y él dice que, pues, el cambio siempre es doloroso, a menos de que ya seas un maestro como muy realizado, el cambio va a ser doloroso, y que lo que él ha hecho durante tiempos de cambio, porque pues no puedes como confiar en las cosas porque siempre están cambiando, y en lo que él siempre pues ha aprendido a confiar es en las enseñanzas que dio el Buda, y es de lo que va a hablar, empezó a hablar en este momento antes de que empezara yo a traducir otra vez, que es la impermanencia y causa y efecto, fueron de las dos que empezó a hablar. Ok, thank you, Rinpoche.
We can talk more about it if you want to get depressed a little bit.
No, we don't want to get depressed. We want to know. What we want to know is how to deal, like, with all these changes that are happening, and how to learn from it, and how to grow from it, as you've done many times in your life, even if it was painful. Dice que se puede seguir hablando de esto, pero que igual nos deprimimos. Dije que no nos queremos deprimir, que queremos aprender cómo crecer con el cambio y cómo aprender de él, como él lo ha hecho en muchas ocasiones en su vida. So no, please tell us how to learn and grow with change and uncertainty.
Well, of course, you want me to answer that now, right?
Yeah,
you
please.
Want to answer that? Oh no, this could be a really long answer. But just to give a brief reply, you know, Buddha teaches that nothing happens without causes and conditions. Everything depends on something else. And this, of all the things, it points to, it's mainly to one thing, that no one has the ultimate control. No one has ultimate control over anything. You can try your best, you can prepare, you can try to manage. But at the end of the day, it's things just, may or may not work, and you have to prepare. You have to be mentally prepared with that. And yeah, this type of sort of teachings. Can you translate that? I will think a little bit.
Ok, entonces Rinpoche nos habla de que Buda dice que todo es causas y condiciones y que lo que pasa es que no podemos tener un control absoluto de las condiciones. Por más que lo intentemos, podemos hacer nuestros mejores esfuerzos y a veces los resultados serán como nosotros queremos que sean, pero a veces no van a ser como nosotros queremos que sean. Y entonces eso es para lo que tenemos que estar preparados mentalmente, para saber cómo lidiar con nuestra mente cuando las cosas no sean como nosotros queramos, que no hay garantía ni algo que podamos hacer para asegurarnos de que siempre todo va a ser como nosotros queremos.
Actually, right now we are talking with an assumption that change has to be painful. Actually, change can be wonderful too. To be honest, everything that is wonderful happens because of change too. So, but
entonces dice que estamos ahorita hablando como con asumiendo que el cambio tiene que ser doloroso, pero que el cambio, de hecho, también puede ser increíble, que de hecho todas las cosas increíbles que nos han pasado en la vida son también gracias al cambio.
But okay, let's talk about change that is difficult, that is difficult to handle and that really makes us suffer. Now, if we really want to deal with it, so to speak, to find some sort of a solution to it rather than ignoring it or numbing it by drinking and all that, then you really have to understand the cause of why you are suffering, why change makes you suffer, so.
Entonces, primero vamos a hablar del cambio que es doloroso, el cambio que nos cuesta trabajo y de cómo lo podemos atravesar de una forma que no sea tomando o con alguna forma como de no lidiar con él, y que para poder hacer eso lo primero que tenemos que hacer es entender por qué el cambio puede ser doloroso, de dónde viene este dolor.
To simply put, suffering is caused by ignorance. Don't worry, I'm not going through the whole Buddhist thing, but I just want to use...
Please do go through the whole Buddhist thing, it's perfect.
Just a part of it. Anyway, whatever I'm saying is influenced by the teachings of the Buddhas and the great masters, right? There's nothing, it's not a word I say, it's something I come up with myself. So here, you might say, what is ignorance then? What is ignorance that is bringing suffering, So ignorance, as the word suggests, is not knowing. Not knowing what? Not knowing the condition of the things, not knowing the nature of yourself, not knowing nature of any phenomena, a relationship, a family, a country, religion, whatever, that not knowing what is its nature, that is ignorance. And one of the nature that everything shares is impermanence. I think that was long enough for you.
Yeah, I'm starting to take notes. The first time I do like teaching translator. Entonces, lo primero que dijo Rinpoche es que nada de lo que él está diciendo viene, o sea, se lo inventó él, que todo esto viene de maestros budistas, que es lo que él ha aprendido, y que de dónde viene el sufrimiento. El sufrimiento viene de la ignorancia. Y entonces paso a hablar de qué es la ignorancia, de qué es lo que somos ignorantes. Dice que la ignorancia es de no saber verdaderamente cuáles son la naturaleza de las cosas, cuál es nuestra propia naturaleza.
Okay.
So they are asking, where does the pain of change comes and how to make it so change is not painful?
Yes, that's okay. Then I will go with what I was saying because this connects. Is that your son?
Yeah, sorry. Órale, qué guapo. Ven, saluda a Rinpoche. Aquí.
No, mami.
Hello.
Adiós. No, después, Cari, por favor.
Okay. So as I was saying, ignorance to basically not knowing that everything has to change. Everything is changing, not knowing, not noticing that. Now, phenomena change, yet your mentality does not. The way your perception of it does not change, or you don't want it to change, which is worse, because whether you want to or not, things will change. This is just the good and the bad news, that things will change. And so it's really like fighting a losing battle. From the beginning, the moment you don't want something to change, you don't want something to remain with you, you kind of have lost the battle.
Since there you are creating suffering, since there it's hurting, since you don't want it,
Yes.
since you don't want it to change you, it starts to hurt.
Yes, obviously, that causes the pain.
Entonces, Rinpoche nos dice que la ignorancia es también de no saber que todo cambia, porque eso es una ley, así son las cosas. Entonces, la realidad es que las cosas siempre están cambiando, pero si nuestra mente, si nuestra percepción no cambia, si no queremos que cambie, si nos queremos quedar agarrados de cómo eran las cosas en el pasado, entonces ahí es donde se empieza a generar el sufrimiento. Desde que nosotros estamos con el anhelo de que no queremos que las cosas cambien, desde que nosotros vivimos con ese anhelo, desde ahí empieza a generarse sufrimiento, porque estamos buscando que algo sea como no es en realidad. Entonces, por eso es tan importancia el tema de la ignorancia y el poder ver las cosas como verdaderamente son.
Should I stop giving that answer now? I think that was long enough.
No, please, we are getting started. That's amazing. So it's because we don't want to see things as they are that we start to suffer.
Yes, and we are attached to permanence, basically. You know, we are attached to permanence. We want our family to remain like before, our traditions to remain like before, country, everything, you know, finance. And they cannot. They are changed and pulled and pushed by billions of causes and conditions, you know. And that's it's a sad and a very funny situation. And one of the biggest source of suffering for human beings is this idea of an image. You know, you want to appear as you want to be a likable person, you want to portray a powerful image, you know, or anything, just simple this simple wish to impress others, whoever, and we want that image not to change. We want that we really fight hard for that not to change it. That's really, really, for someone like me, an Asian, it's one of the biggest problems, you know. I want people to like me. I want people to think, oh, that's a very good Lama, you know. I want people, and I have no control over it, actually. And it makes me suffer a lot.
That makes you suffer.
Of course.
Entonces, Rinpoche dice que pues tenemos apego a la permanencia. Ese es básicamente el problema. Tenemos apego a la permanencia de nuestra familia, a la permanencia de que nuestro país siga siendo lo mismo, que nuestra economía sigue siendo igual. Y que de cierta forma, este apego, o sea, por un lado es muy triste y también es como muy divertido. Y es el sufrimiento más grande para el ser humano. Este apego a querer que las cosas no cambien, eso es uno de los, o sea, el sufrimiento más grande que se genera. Y otro sufrimiento es cuando queremos impresionar. Queremos que la gente nos quiera, que la gente piense bien de nosotros, que podamos enseñar nuestro poder. Y cuando hay cambio, esto se cae o cambia. Y dice que él, siendo pues un maestro asiático, eso es uno de sus mayores problemas, porque él quiere que la gente lo quiera, que digan que qué buen lama es, y que pues no tiene control sobre eso, y que eso es algo que a él lo hace sufrir.
Of course, I received many many instructions from my great masters, and I have met people who are so authentic. You know, you cannot scare them. You cannot bribe them. You cannot sway them by praising or threatening. Nothing. We have met such people, and for example, my teachers, they advise to always think about impermanence, think about change. You know, that should be your rock, sort of. Not to become like a mechanical person, but to have a practical view of things. For example, let's say today you are, you know, well known, or at least in your friend circle, in your village, you are well known, and people like you, and I don't know, like, you know, but I'm trying to hold myself back, you know, but especially as a spiritual teacher, it's very important to always have this awareness that today they see something in me which they like, so they like me. Tomorrow, these very same people probably will see something in me that they don't like. You understand? And then the whole sort of story is different now. You know, not to be a pessimistic though, but realistic. You know, and that's the same about anything in any situation. Just to, you know.
Okay, let me translate this. Entonces, nos dice que él ha recibido instrucciones de grandes maestros que son inamovibles, que no los afecta ni que los alaben ni que los critiquen, y que estos mismos maestros, que tenemos grandes maestros en común, siempre hablan de la importancia de la impermanencia, de pensar en la impermanencia constantemente. Es algo que tenemos que hacer. Y que tener una visión como práctica de cómo son las cosas en realidad. Por ejemplo, como un maestro espiritual, puede ser que hoy vean en mí algo que a ustedes les gusta y que entonces me quieran seguir, pero que mañana vean algo que no les gusta y entonces ya no quieran saber nada de nosotros y a lo mejor hasta se vayan. Entonces, eso es importante, contemplar constantemente en la impermanencia. Y aquí nos estaban justamente preguntando, ¿cómo realmente qué significa la impermanencia? ¿Cómo se traduciría algo que podemos llevar a nuestra vida diaria? So speaking about impermanence, Rinpoche, they're asking like, what does impermanence really mean? And how can we take impermanence, like these thoughts of impermanence or this practice of thinking of impermanence in our daily life?
Can you see me?
You're like spinning. It's like your side is thinking.
Okay, but you can hear me, right?
I can hear you, yeah.
That's enough.
Let's see if you come back.
Okay, so you said what? How does impermanence help?
Like what is impermanence? They are asking what is impermanence, how to adapt to impermanence, how to integrate impermanence in our daily life.
Well, that's a very big question.
Yeah.
Impermanence is, it means something that changes, you know. And now you might ask why. So according to Buddha, things change because they appear from causes and conditions. And causes and conditions, by themselves are influenced by other causes and conditions. Okay, let me give you a practical impermanence, Practical impermanence is, look at your mind. What does it go through in a day? It's so important. It's such an important factor. Actually, what we know for sure is our mind. That's what we directly know. But it's so easy for others to disturb this mind. Anybody can disturb you. So easy. Anyone can say some, just something mean to you, and your whole day is ruined. You understand? That's impermanent. Impermanent means you have no power over things. For example, let's say you want to be happy, and you tell yourself, I want to be happy now. But it doesn't work like that. You want to be angry. I want to be angry right now. But it doesn't work. Which shows that the control is not in your hand. The control is in the hand of the phenomena. Let's say, like that. The control is in the hand of cause and effect, causes and conditions. Okay, yeah, I didn't translate. I think it's becoming very...
Okay, I'm going to translate that. I don't know if we should try, like, to remove you and then add you again.
Okay.
Let's try. I hope you can come back. Let me remove. Okay, wait. Okay, Rinpoche, please send another request to be live while I translate. Entonces, hablando de la impermanencia, bueno, dice que esa es una pregunta muy grande, pero impermanencia es algo que cambia. ¿Por qué cambia? Pues Buda dice que todo cambia por causas y condiciones que son influenciadas por más causas y condiciones. Déjenme lo agrego. Aquí está. Y poniendo como un ejemplo más práctico de lo que es la impermanencia, de lo que es el cambio, dice que nada más volteemos a ver a nuestra propia mente. ¿Cómo es nuestra mente a lo largo del día? Entonces, ¿cuánto cambio hay en nuestro día? No podemos ni siquiera saber qué va a pasar con nuestra mente. Quien sea puede aparecer y puede cambiar nuestro día, puede cambiar nuestro humor, nos puede hacer felices, nos puede hacer enojados. Entonces, reconocer que ese control no está en ti, está en causas y condiciones. Eso es la impermanencia. Como todo esto está cambiando desde lo más que somos nosotros, que sería nuestra propia mente. And so I think we understood what
we blame anybody. We are all subject to change. It's like we are all, how to say it nicely, like not too very traditionally. I can do it. I'm a very traditional person. You cannot really blame anybody, because once you understand that this fight between change and attachment, change takes things away from us, yet attachment one of the biggest help that I get is simply knowing the existence of my teachers. His Holiness Dalai Lama, Sakya Teaching, His Holiness Sakya Teaching, there's so many of them. And it's a it's an amazing stroke of luck, unimaginable fortune that somehow, of all the people I could meet, I could know of, that I also know about them. It's an enlightened being who is in front of you, speaking your language and benefiting countless of beings as if it is the only purpose of their life. I think, that's, for me, I think of more than all the philosophy, this helps to sometimes,
So beautiful. Entonces, él dice que la inspiración es lo que más nos puede hacer crecer, la inspiración de recordar y de conocer a grandes maestros. Él tiene la fortuna de tener grandes maestros como His Holiness Dalai Lama, His Holiness Sakya Tenzin, Manjushri Sansakyense Rinpoche, hay muchos, y que se requiere de muchísima suerte y ser muy, muy afortunado de que de toda la gente que conozcamos en este mundo, tengamos la fortuna de conocer pues a maestros iluminados, a budas vivientes de carne y hueso, que hablen tu lenguaje, con los que puedas hablar y veas cómo ellos manejan la realidad de una forma distinta. Entonces él dice que más que toda la filosofía, más que todos los estudios, el conocer a alguien así, el cambio que puede tener en ti es algo impresionante, y yo estoy completamente de acuerdo con esto. O sea, sí, para mí la bendición más grande que he tenido en mi vida ha sido conocer a estos maestros, porque te abre tu mente, te deja ver de lo que somos capaces en un cuerpo humano, ¿no? Te pone una una visión mucho más alta de lo que se puede ser, de cómo se puede vivir, de cómo nos podemos relacionar. So, well, first I translated, and then I said that, and then I added up my thing, and I said that yeah, I'm totally agree with you, that for me also, like, the biggest blessing of my life, the biggest change, the biggest inspiration has been meeting teachers like this, because it makes you see like what we in a human body, the possibility of how we could be if we practice, if we have a path. You know, it just puts our standards of possibilities of human life in, like, I mean, my hand is just here, but it's just like there, no? So that inspiration, meeting beings like that,
yes,
wow, it really makes you think that it's many big possibilities in this life.
yes. The reason why I bring this is as much as impermanent things like your mind, our mind is not in our control, but you can kind of influence it. You can influence it, and the thing is that it really feeds off on what you and what you come across your life. So when you start reading these sort of thinking about the life of these masters, first of all, many of the things they did seems impossible. You know, you feel like, or just any great man or a woman, it seems impossible to us. You know? But as you get more and more and more, there is a strength that starts building within you. You know, that really slowly you start believing.
Sorry, I have so much wind. Cari, ¿le apagas, porfa? ¿Le apagas tantito? Wait, sorry. They couldn't hear because of the wind. So I'm moving it. Sorry.
As I was saying, these two things I find very important. Knowing the reality of the things, that whether I like it or not, things are one way, and my idea, hopes, and fear is another. You know, so there's going to be a friction. That's a very good knowledge. And then,
Ok, dice que hay dos cosas que son muy importantes. Una es ser conscientes de que la realidad es de una forma, pero que mis ideas y mis esperanzas quizás son de otra forma de lo que es la realidad. Y entonces que estas dos cosas que van separadas va a producir una fricción. Y la segunda...
yes, and you need a companion, you know. You need a friend. You need someone to depend upon. That's where an object of inspiration comes in. You know, even if you're not a Buddhist, just to think about life of this prince who gave up everything and went in search of wisdom. I think if you can think, that's quite amazing. You know, it could really, for example, the things that this person did, not by magic or there was no miracle, you know, he would simply talk, simply be present in front of somebody, and this would transform the other person inside out. You know, he talks with a mass murderer. Just talk. Nothing. He's not showing any, he's not dancing or nothing. It's just simple talk. And this person's mind completely changes.
Entonces dice que la segunda cosa es que necesitamos un compañero, un amigo, una guía, porque esto va a ser este objeto de inspiración. Y que aunque seamos budistas o no, que simplemente conocer la vida de Buda y oír sus historias, de cómo se podía él sentar, hablar con un asesino y explicarle y cómo esto iba a transformar la mente de esta persona y a cambiar su vida, eso genera muchísima inspiración.
You cannot do that if you're wrong or if you're lying.
No lo puedes hacer eso si estás solo y si no tienes esta guía.
Someone will catch up if you know, you start, sooner or later. But the things this person said, for example, impermanence, you know, that whatever we are talking about, these have been taught almost 3,000 years before. And even to this day, it still stands as the truth.
Y dice que las cosas que, por ejemplo, que esta persona que Buda habló, fueron cosas que se hablaron hace 3,000 años, como la impermanencia. Y que estas mismas cosas que se hablaron hoy en día siguen siendo completamente válidas, siguen siendo completamente reales y siguen siendo de gran ayuda. We have 1 minute, 45 seconds left. And somebody is asking that if the thought that we can create our own realities, that is true or false?
We thought you can create your own reality?
Yeah, can we create our own reality with our mind? Is that true or is that false?
That's always true, but that may not be the reality. That's your reality. That's what we do all the time anyway. We create our own reality, and that's the problem. That's it.
Thank you so much, Rinpoche. We have 1 minute left. This was amazing. People are like so thankful. They can follow you on your Instagram. And please, are you giving online teachings right now, or where can people study with you?
They can check our website, aryatara.net, where I am talking about a lot of boring things, like what we did today. And yeah, I don't know.
I'll post. So
Thank you
they
very much.
can follow you and follow this page, aryatara.net.
Yes, it's a website. Anyway, thank you so much, Regina. That was very kind of you. And
No, thank you so much, Rinpoche.
Interesting. This is the first time, live.
We'll have a second.
Let's see. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Love you all the way to Germany.
Yeah.